Let me first talk about the term community cohesion. It's possibly one of the most awkward terms I've heard. Couldn't there be a snappier title?
There probably could be a snappier title, but the way I always define it is about getting on with people that you live with.
And how can you get that message over to someone like Thurrock? Because as you probably appreciate, Thurrock has a red flag for community cohesion, one of the most poorest areas in the country.
I think there are lots of issues why community cohesion has over the years got bad, why we're not at ease with each other, why different communities don't rub along as good as they should, and I think some of that is government responsibility. I talk about multiculturalism as state multiculturalism, where the government has defined what we can and cannot do, what we can and cannot say, how we should be engaging with different communities, and it's engaged with communities, especially black and Asian communities, on the basis of their race and religion, and I think that sent out a message that the only way the government will listen to you or support you or fund you is if you can actually assign yourself to a specific interest group. And I think the ultimate form of state multiculturalism was recently when the Secretary of State for DCLG, for Department of Communities and Local Government, decided that he was going to have a fund to engage with white communities. Now when white communities in Britain become a special interest group, that's when state multiculturalism has gone completely mad.
And what would be your criticism of the way the Labour have delivered community cohesion?
Well, like I've just said, I think Labour and the government have actually delivered community cohesion by engaging with communities on the basis of their race and religion. It's been talking to communities through that definition rather than on the basis of need, and that's had a lose-lose effect. It's left the black and Asian communities behind because I think it's a patronising way of engaging with communities by treating them as a specific interest group rather than as part of the whole, and it's left white communities feeling marginalised and feeling that they are the not-haves whereas others are the haves, and it's created community tension. And what we should be saying is whatever your colour, wherever your background, wherever you come from, what we should be doing is engaging with you on the basis of your need. And I think a lot of that has been done by Labour because it suited them politically. It's ensured certain votes in certain communities. It's playing communities off against one another. But I think ultimately it's led to a country which is less at ease with itself.
If I see a Union Jack wrapped around an Olympic athlete, I think great, I'm comfortable with it. If I see St George's at Wembley in an England game, I think great. When I see a St George's flag in somebody's garden, I feel uncomfortable. Is that my problem?
I think it is. I mean, I think people who feel that they need to plant flags on their lawn are not. It's a very un-British thing to do. But if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But one of the things that I've been saying for a long time is that the Union flag and the St George's Cross need to be reclaimed by the majority. I mean, I saw people of all colour, all backgrounds waving the St George's Cross during the football match, England in the World Cup. In fact, later on today, I'm going to be addressing a community, predominantly an Asian community in Luton, where one of the outfits which are on the back of the car, which I may be wearing later on, is a shalwar kameez, an Asian outfit, and the scarf of that is actually a printed version of the Union flag. And the reason why I think it's important to reclaim that, for people to wrap themselves in the Union flag and say it's ours, is because I think for too long we've left it in the hands of the extremist parties and they've made it their domain. And that has been because the Labour government have not been clear about what our identity is. They've not been proud about being English and about being British. And what you see in Scotland and Wales is that they have a much stronger Welsh and Scottish identity, and their communities are more at ease with themselves. Now, if the baseline identity, as I call it, if the English identity is allowed to be stronger, then you will find migrant communities more inclined to buy into that strong identity, because strong identities make for good community relations, not bad community relations.
How would you assess Jackie Dawn-Price's chances here in Thurrock?
I think Jackie's chances here in Thurrock are very, very high. I think there is every chance that Jackie will be the next Member of Parliament for Thurrock, and that's why I'm delighted here on St George's Day to be celebrating it in Thurrock with Jackie.